Ladies and gentlemen, comrades, equal warriors of the revolution, fighters of the oligarchy, strap in because it's time to talk about our favorite humble millionaire with 3 homes, Bernie Private Jet Sanders. Welcome to Nelly Miranda. But before we expose the carbon footprint of a man supposedly saving the earth, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to this channel, and ring that little bell so you don't miss any more moments of political theater dressed in socialist cosplay. So here's the scoop. Bernie Sanders, yes, that Bernie, the Eat the Rich guy, is on a Fight the Oligarchy tour with AOC. Because nothing says power to the people like arena tours and 6-figure jet bills. Free Beacon reports Sanders spent over $221,000 on private jets just this year. And during his last campaign, he spent $2 million in private air travel.
All right, last thing. Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, she said you shouldn't be using oligarch. It's over people's head. You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour, paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
And you think that this is hitting a mark? You think it's scratching the itch that voters want to hear from?
I think at a time when the people on top are doing phenomenally well, when seniors, working class people are struggling, people want to hear action to stand up to the people who have the wealth and the power and create an economy that works for all of us, not just the people on top.
So basically, Brett was like, how do you square this with your climate agenda? And Sanders basically was like, what do you think? I'm about to stand in line at the United with the poor people? Oh, yes, because God forbid Senator Sanders sips lukewarm airport coffee like the rest of us poor people.
According to the FEC, the Sanders campaign committee has spent more than $200,000 on his private jets just in the last quarter. That is actually quite a lot of money. I have to say this, my very first story out of Washington for Politico was about a politician, Chuck Schumer, flying on private jets, and I am here today to tell the tale, but which is not saying a lot for politicians. I mean, Chuck, tell me what the moment was in that answer that you thought, oh, this is going wrong.
The United thing, because we all you're a man of the people. How dare I have to be with the people, right? That's what, look, it's a cheap question. It's a smart alecky question. So it wasn't a serious question. It was kind of trolly. But his answer was terrible. You can't defend this answer. Hey, buddy, we all have to stand in line. We all have to do this. Even if you have 1K privileges, you're still standing in line. You still have to do this. You got to go through security.
It definitely came across as I'm not going to stand in this line with
and did you hear him? He mentioned Trump. Well, I'll remind him, Donald Trump, doesn't he own his plane? That is much different than Bernie Sanders going around on the plane. I think that this is something very, Donald Trump, and the point was right that Brett made, is that he fights against the oligarchy and the rich. He wants to tax all of the rich. And a similar thing to even Bill Gates, who also flies around on his private plane, and he has these concerns about the environment. I think many people look at this and say, well, you're a hypocrite. And I'll say to everybody at home, whether it's a president, whether it's Bernie, vice president, any politician will love to ride on a private plane, and they'll probably do it until they can't stop doing it.
Let's break down Bernie's logic here. He claims that he had to take private jets because he was doing 3 to 5 events per week, not per day. Mind you, per week. Let's do the math, shall we? 3 events in 7 days, and yet commercial flights are somehow out of the question? Are flights not available every day anymore? But wait, it gets better. In 2016, when Bernie reluctantly campaigned for Hillary Clinton, his team demanded private charters just to get him on board. Politico reported that Clinton staffers were stunned at Bernie's royal demands. Zach Petkanas, who was the director of rapid response for the Clinton campaign, told Politico this. Quote, "I'm not shocked that while thousands of volunteers braved the heat and cold to knock on doors until their fingers bled in a desperate effort to stop Donald Trump, His Royal Majesty King Bernie Sanders would only deign to leave his plush DC office or his brand new second home on the lake if he was flown around on a cushy private jet like a billionaire master of the universe." This came from the same people who sooner eat glass than defend Trump. Oh, and this whole Fight the Oligarchy tour? Yeah. He's flying private jets while railing against billionaires? Because nothing says down with the elites like a $75,000 jet ride paid for by the pack. Friends of Bernie Sanders. Spoiler alert. You are not fighting the oligarchy, Bernie. You are the oligarchy. And you clearly are part of the rich that needs to be eaten. And now for the best part. Bernie has 3 homes, a millionaire status, and a decades-long career in government. But he wants you to believe that he's just a simple man from Vermont fighting for the common folk. Meanwhile, the only common experience that he's having is carbon emissions. So to recap, climate emergency, fly private. Income inequality, cash packed checks. Too many billionaires become a multimillionaire in the Senate. Ugh, stop it. The hypocrisy isn't even hidden anymore. It's just audacity on full display, just loud, and flying at 30,000 feet high. Is Bernie the biggest hypocrite in politics, or does he have a point when he says it's impossible to fly commercials in a time crunch? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if honest commentary brings you value, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.